Right.
I'm sure everyone's mute.
Right. Okay.
Can I see anybody?
Is there any sound now?
I see no. I
Wow,
don't even
full
see
house.
audio jumping on your. Okay, there we go.
Right.
Hello.
So yeah, it looks like we've got,
Right. We've got it. We've got sound. Fantastic.
I hear people.
Yeah.
we have sound.
So, guys, right? Seriously, yeah. Apologize for the sound issues tonight. I have had problems with my PC. We are now live, so I am going to introduce us once again. If you know me, you know I'm Kemet1976. You can find me on the usual channels. You can find me on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram. Lazy Mapper, introduce yourself to the crowd.
Hi, I'm the Lazy Mapper. You can find me on YouTube and also on Xbox. My gamer tag is I'm going to get you sucker. And on PC, it's the Lazy Mapper. I'm on Twitch also. And then here's Johnny Two Fingers. He'll tell you about himself.
I'm Johnny Two Fingers. You can find me on Craigslist. You know what I mean?
There you go. Get these 2 fingers.
I see the mood's lightened up already.
No, I'm on YouTube, Twitch occasionally. See if you can find out when I'm going to be on Twitch. It's kind of a game, you know. Like when will he be on? Will he be ever? I don't know. Twitter, I tweet, so that's a thing.
Tweet.
Yeah, I think we're going to go down to Death Weapon here. Go ahead, buddy.
Oh, I'm Death Weapon. I'm pretty much always on Xbox all the time. So I don't have time for any other kind of social media.
Death Weapon's got too much time on his hands.
Yeah, work from home. You know, I'm a stay-at-home mom. And,
Are you on
how about
Craigslist
you,
too?
Captain Hindsight?
What's that? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yep. So we've got Captain Hindsight.
I'm on Xbox. You can find me on YouTube as well as Difex, same as Twitch. Yeah, and that's about it.
Yeah. So as we were saying before, my computer decided to be rude and mess with our sound. Yeah, we were talking about the we wanted to talk about the state of Far Cry and you know we're like a month in now, just over a month since the game had been released, and you know I think the community is kind of some of us are frustrated, some have left, and there's just a lot to say and there's a lot going on at the moment. So we're going to start off sort of like with the negative things and then hopefully end with something positive today.
I mean, look, and obviously we've discussed this before, but it seems like it's just part of Ubisoft's pattern to just kind of, it's almost like they've got it on their whiteboard to be like, we need to definitely miss the mark on a few things this time around because we've consistently done it with the past two. So if we nail it this time, people are going to be disappointed. They're going to be like, "Where's Ubisoft? What did you do with them?"
So the first topic that we're going to talk about is which is topic number 1, which is map editor issues. Right. Where do we begin? So with the map editor issues, we on the positive side, we do know that there is a patch coming, but it's not for the editor. As far as I know, it's mainly for the multiplayer, but we will get into that on the second topic. So with the currently with the map editor issues, you're talking about like textures tearing, the auto scroll, physics, clipping problems, the pivot point relocation and resting, lakes. You know, so there's quite a range of things to sort of like talk about in there. I know Lazy Mapper, I know you've been having some real issues with the editor.
Well, you know, the clipping, of course. A lot of people write to me on the club about that what's it called, the red horn problem. They're supposed to patch that and fix that. I'm not sure what that is. I haven't run into that.
Ubisoft.
So,
You know,
so,
who
so
knows
does anyone know what that red horn is? Because I've been hearing about it. I've not.
Yeah, I was wondering the same. Like, what the hell is that?
I don't know. Red horn.
That's actually my name on Craigslist.
What red horn?
Yeah, we figured that.
Fucking red.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Steve 64B has made a website where you could search for destructible items. So if you're on console, so be sure to check that out. You made
That
it easier
guy
for you
is
to
a
search.
superstar.
Yeah, he's a
you'll be able to
legend,
search.
man. So yeah,
Superstar.
big. Yeah. Shout out goes to Steve Botter.
Yeah, make sure you put that on there, Steve, your website in the chat, so everybody knows where to find
Yeah,
that.
that's yeah, definitely.
Yeah, the red horn, I haven't run into it just because I haven't actually attempted to upload any maps, because I'm really not in any kind of hurry to finish or upload a map due to all of the current issues that everyone else seems to be having. So I'm just kind of I haven't run into that issue.
Is that something that people are running into when they're publishing the maps?
Yeah, when they're trying to publish it, they'll have this red horn. Now, a guy on my club said that if you erase some of the trees in the background and flatten the map on the edges, I'm thinking that maybe somebody using the pre-rendered maps from Ubisoft. I'm not sure, because if you do that, there's too many. There's a render problem with the trees, by the way. So they have an issue themselves. If you'll notice that the bar for rendered trees is like maxed out. So there's a problem with their pre-rendered maps.
Okay.
I don't know if that's is related to red horn.
Yeah, so it's not something that I use, so it's a possibility. Do you know what I mean? I always start off with a fresh green map. You know what I mean? Well, it's not green this time, though, is it?
Let's take that to heart. You know, don't use pre-made stuff.
Is that what's causing it?
I don't know. I heard that's one of the rumors.
Because I've never, I think just for shits and giggles, I've loaded a pre-made, like a randomly generated landscape to see what it did. But
everybody
like,
tried it once.
Never
and it's all over the place. There's mountains that are like pointing up to the sky. You know, it's kind of
just out of curiosity, I've used it. I've never actually like used it though, like to build on. So
one of the issues that really got to me personally, and it happened in Far Cry 4, is the auto scroll. I really hate that auto scroll. I can't stand it. And the same issue that we had with Far Cry 4 is the same issue that we're having now.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So basically, for people who don't know, which I'm just assuming that people are in here and they don't know about what the auto scroll does. But when you pick the auto scroll, even when you try to switch the auto scroll off, so what happens is when you pick an object, especially a large object, what it does, it automatically, instead of picking the object in the center of the object how you're supposed to, it automatically scrolls to the pivot point. If you switch the auto scroll off, you're supposed to be able to pick your item up, in the center of that item without it automatically scrolling to the pivot point. That does not work whatsoever. I remember we complained about that in Far Cry 4, and they never fixed it.
They never fixed it.
They never fixed the issue with the auto scrolling.
It's like they tried to fix it, and then they fucking just gave us that lock option.
Yeah, to lock the camera.
But the lock
completely
doesn't
broken as well.
Yeah, the lock doesn't really work, though, does it? I mean, what does the lock really do? It just locks your camera into position. That's it.
Yeah,
it gives you a false sense of hope. That's what it does.
So basically, you lock your camera into position. But first of all, how does it work anyway? Because like you have to pick your item anyway in order to move it with the Does it just locks the camera, so you can't actually move your cursor, can you? Once it locks the camera, right?
So whenever you lock the camera and you start raising an object, don't get a false sense of hope on you actually being able to do anything in a fixed position, because most of the time when you lock the camera, you're moving something within the screen limits. But the issue is the way that the camera moves with the object anyway. You can't position anything correctly within that screen.
Right.
Because it's such a fast movement. You cannot control like a precision movement, even in a locked position. It's still like you're going on camera 5. It'll be here 1 second and then zoom like all the way across the map.
So can't you use your coordinates? Because I've never really tested that out to the fullest. You can't use. You should also be able to use your coordinates, right?
I mean, I hate to jump in here, but this is what irritates me about the current development process of Ubisoft. They don't even look at the things that did work, because as I recall, I was able to use. I don't know if they didn't have the issue in Far Cry 2, right?
No,
not at all.
No,
you could build a map with a controller just fine, right?
Right.
But it's like
it was
they
perfect.
don't bother looking at the thing that worked before. And I mean, I'm going to avoid going off on a total tangent here, but that seems to be consistently the issue with these guys. They have shit that works, and they're just not looking at it and using that as a sort of jumping off point.
Plus, you had Snap too, and they don't have Snap.
It's just there's really obvious solutions.
From PC to Xbox, it's Xbox feels like the bastard child of
well, it's
the Far Cry
PS4
world. It literally is Far Cry hard mode. You get some things with PC, and then it's like, oh no, Xbox, forget you guys. We don't really care.
What about the pivot point? Because I have more problems with the pivot point than anything else.
Never touch pivot points. Ever.
Well, I'm not. Well, I actually, do you know something? I did start off using the pivot point at one point. The pun.
I stopped that very early on once I realized it was going to screw everything up.
So basically, the first issue that I had with the pivot point, is that if you have an object and you move the pivot point, if you're joining another object with that object that you've just moved the pivot point, if you select them both and you want to move them both at the same time, as soon as you select them both and duplicate both of the items, the one of the items that you move the pivot point, it will disjoint both of the items.
Yeah, it'll reset itself and kind of just like move out of the...
It'll reset itself, so it will move the items out of joint.
Yeah, I had that same issue when I first started building this, the one map that I've been working on this entire time. I basically made that the sort of foundry ladle thing, and I had copied and moved it. But anytime you try to move something where you had a reset pivot point on it, it'll literally just kind of jump and move to the side.
Move it to the side, right?
Group anymore, and that's really like it makes that feature pointless.
So really and truthfully, it should have a feature where, if you are messing with the pivot point, it should have a feature where you can reset all pivot points. Do you know what I mean? Like, back to its original state, so that if you are going to duplicate any items, it doesn't disjoint them when you are duplicating an item, especially if you've got like, a couple of things that are in a specific position where you're using lots of items.
Yeah,
I feel like this is definitely an issue that needs to be fixed, but a quick fix for it is if you do have to mess with a pivot point and you put everything together, you copy it, it's going to get disjointed.
Yeah.
But if you move that to the side and you move everything back into place, like say a couple pieces got out of place if you're building, say, a robot or a car. If you put those pieces back into place, copy that, you can make as many copies of that copy, just never touch the original ever again, and it'll be perfect every time.
Right.
So if you're like, say, if you're making a spider leg, what you were doing, you move those pieces into place, copy that spider leg, you can make 7 other copies, and they'll be perfect. So you can pivot those all you want.
Well,
Right.
you know, it's like Ubisoft made the editor like a game too. You know.
Oh, absolutely.
It's its own puzzle.
Welcome
its
to
own
Far
puzzle,
Cry
for real.
Arcade for real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a puzzle in and of itself.
So the other issue with the pivot point is, and I was having this. I had this today it was yesterday. When I was using the triangle pieces, and what was happening was, as I was trying to move the actual piece with the coordinates, it wouldn't move the actual item, the triangle. It would automatically move the pivot point. You know, automatically. I'm like, well, why is it moving the pivot point? It should be moving the object. So my workaround there's two workarounds on that. You can either reset, you can either save your work, come out, and then reload it up, and it works. But the other way was to copy. Didn't you say Death Weapon was to copy? Duplicate the piece and use the duplicate. Just put the
Correct,
original.
because that resets a pivot point. Whenever you copy it, it resets the pivot point on that particular piece.
Right.
Where it's no longer trying to copy into its original position. When you make that copy, it's copying that position that it's in currently.
Right.
So as long as you do that, you're fine. And doing those weird angles, what you were doing with triangles, it works as well. It resets those so that you can then rotate on the Z axis, and it won't reset itself.
Right. So has anyone else had those problems with the sort of like, you know, pivots?
Yeah.
Everyone has the same. Everybody's having the same. Everyone's
A
having
lot
the
of
same issues.
workarounds. A lot of
Essentially, what I have found is that having those issues just automatically discourages me from trying to use that feature. I'd rather just manually move everything in place and take the extra time than have to worry about it.
And this is the
time doing that, though.
yeah, exactly. That's the
Like
thing it
grabbing
takes.
piece by piece individually. It's like ridiculous.
it's very frustrating though. with the
Yeah,
editor.
it is.
It's not fun.
I literally, like the first day, I was all excited. I was like, ooh, picking a pivot point. I can turn on a 45-degree and it'll be great. You know, I learned within probably 20 minutes of trying to do that. Having my camera go from here to all the way down to the bottom. I was like, I'm done. I'm never touching a pivot point ever
That's
again.
what I'm saying. Yeah, I just put tape over that part of the screen.
Yeah.
Do not
That
use.
doesn't exist anymore.
Out of order.
Yeah, exactly.
What
What
was it? Punish 69th. No, what did it say?
Yeah, he said something about if you rotate the object 180 degrees, the pivot point will be on the opposite side, closer to you. I don't know what that.
Yeah, I just don't want to mess with the pivot points. It's just too much work, man. Seriously.
It's
it's way too much work,
you're
man.
trying to work on something and you need to do something precise. Just flip the object around.
Yeah,
This is so messed up.
It was really exciting, and it's funny. It's really sad. Is that was really exciting to find that it was there. I was like, oh my god, you can select your pivot point. Like this is the greatest. This is the greatest thing in sliced bread. I was thinking, wow, this is gonna work.
Well,
if Snap worked in auto, if you could turn off auto scroll, it would have just worked just as good.
Well, we don't, and that's the thing as well too. We don't even have a snap feature neither. I mean, we do have coordinates. Do you know what I mean? But we don't have a snap feature. So the last sort of issue, unless anyone else has any issues with the map editor, is I know that people have been having some issues with lakes. Cap, do you wanna talk about that? Because I know you've had some issues with the textures tearing or something like that with the lakes, right?
Can you guys hear me right now?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm just like getting like computer set up right now. So when you lay down lakes, sometimes like you like spawn in it and like run around and it'll like separate from you and like you could like see right through it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It'll just like it literally just like tear, and you could just see like right through the water. Like there's no water there. I don't know if you guys ever noticed that, but if you ever go,
I've noticed that if I'm doing shallow, really shallow water, I've seen that before.
Yeah, it's
Because
shallow.
of
Yeah,
how
more
how
shallow.
torrent how like torrent the water is and stuff. Whenever it's like it rises up, you're fine, but when it lowers back down, it'll kind of separate out, and you can see all the ground texture down beneath it.
Yeah. It's
Right.
kind of like that though, but if you have it like kind of shallow and you're like walking through it, it'll literally like separate from you.
Yeah.
It's like your Jesus or
It's like
some shit.
like you Moses.
Or Moses.
Moses.
My bad. Jesus.
Don't make Mike G angry.
Oh yeah. You read the book. What are you talking about?
I think I don't know if it's
Hi,
just
Mike.
me, but I just had to turn Captain down a little bit. I think
Yeah, his mic's.
you're
Yeah,
redlining a little bit.
yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll turn my mic down.
Yeah, you were just redlining just a tad.
I had it really loud.
Now you've got it really low.
Now you're too low.
Come on,
Okay,
Goldilocks.
Come on, Cap, get with it.
Yeah. Cool.
Is that good?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fine.
that's
That sounds fine.
Yeah, dude, my settings are all messed up. Like I haven't.
You're good.
So let's get on with the second subject today. Yeah, this is one close to everybody's hearts. Multiplayer and lobby system. Here we go. Here we go. Multiplayer and lobby system. Cap, I'm going to give you this one. So, what are the issues you've come across in the multiplayer and lobby?
Shit, man. Mainly just like the name thing, the name glitch, where your names don't come up and you don't know who's your teammate or who's the enemy. That's
Game
definitely
break.
a game breaker. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
It seems like a pretty serious one. Yeah.
It really is,
Yeah.
man. Also the invincibility glitch, like that one sucks so bad, man. You can unload like a whole clip into somebody's head and they're just like not dead.
Can I just
fucking break your neck?
Can I just interrupt you a second, Cap?
Yeah,
Does anyone have access to the patches that are supposed to be coming on Tuesday? Because apparently there's supposed to be some patches coming on Tuesday.
Right, but from what I've heard is that those two issues, the main issues, are not being addressed yet.
Okay.
No, I read that they are. The PvP.
I'm hoping that they are, but from
Yeah.
what I've heard from other
So-
people, it's like a light patch. It's not going to completely fix everything, but it should kind of level out.
Right. So if anyone in the chat, can somebody just sort of link us to the patch notes from Ubisoft if you can. That would be
Yeah, that would be great.
That would be absolutely fantastic if you can do that. If you can just send a link in that, and then we can sort of discuss that while we talk, talk through this. Yeah. So sorry, Cap. Yeah, to cut you. I just thought I had to ask someone to patch us in with those patch notes and stuff.
Which update would this be? Would it be title update 5?
I'm not sure. I got a
Steve Potter
message.
put it up.
Has he
Steve
put
Potter
it?
put it
He's just put it up now. Yeah. So let me just have a look at that.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, he's on top of shit. This
this
Potter guy.
Yeah,
he's
he's on form, man.
He should be hired. I'll tell you that. But
I would say he's
New
like
forum
one
manager.
of the patron saints of the Far Cry community.
Right.
Definitely.
What the hell?
So who's
All right, so it says
Right, okay.
let's see.
Right.
First of all, we fixed a couple bugs that have impacted the game experience. The identification of teammates and enemies in PvP is now fixed. When players respawn after dying, their name tags were not above the character anymore. This is now fixed. Your arcade level doesn't reset anymore. Yay! What a nice thing for them to do. When you restart a campaign game, your arcade level will be reset, but that's done on purpose. They've also made improvements to the private lobby system to help map creators promote their content and play their own maps with their friends. The first
And
player to
only their
enter a
friends.
password. What's that?
Password. Here we go.
The first player to enter the password is automatically selected as the host instead of a random pick between the two players required to start a private lobby. Only the host can pick the map to be played. The host has 60 seconds to pick the map. That's enough time to cook a Hot Pocket. Within the first weeks after launch, we also noticed many of your comments that suggested that map parameters were not adapted to your needs as content creators. For the last title update, there were changes for the parameters of the public lobbies so that the first maps suggested are the featured maps instead of all maps. The other side of the coin is now many people have the feeling that they're always just playing the same featured maps.
Yeah.
To mitigate this, the map pickers will now have 50 seconds to go through the different filters and pick the map that they want to play. We hope these modifications will enhance your arcade experience. Thank you for playing.
Do you know something? Yeah, I'm going to come straight out and say it, and I don't care. Yeah, this is all convoluted. It's as simple as that. It's convoluted.
I think it's cute that they're doing that.
It's complicated. It's convoluted, man. Seriously, it's complicated. And the thing is, yeah, it's overly complicated. All they need to do, yeah, is just give us an open lobby system. It's as simple as that, so we can play our damn maps.
Okay, so listen, if they're concerned
I mean?
if they're concerned about map boosting, I honestly I would be fine if they gave us the open lobby system a la Far Cry Instincts or Far Cry 2 or whatever.
Far Cry 2, yeah.
If they gave us the open lobby system where people could just jump in and join us and turned off the map voting for that particular system, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit if the maps are boosted or whatever. I just want to play the damn maps.
Yeah.
You can vote it. You can vote it in the other arcade lobbies. Turn off the voting for the open lobby system.
I'm tired of
boosting.
playing like games
Problem
like
solved.
shovel dodges every 5 minutes, man. Just God almighty, man.
Dude, I played that so many times.
It's so
Like,
depressing, man. Seriously, it really is. It's that depressing, yeah. That I haven't played. I've not played multiplayer for 2 weeks. Even my friends like are trying to get me to play multiplayer. I just won't play it. Do you know what I mean? I can't bring myself to play it. Do you know what I mean? Just because it's horrible, man. You know, especially with the voting and you know the private thing. We'll see how that works when the patch comes through.
It's the same. It's going to be the same shit that it already is. That you just have more time to pick, and one guy gets to pick. They haven't really addressed the issue.
Yeah,
it's a little bit like a private lobby. You can have 2 to 12 people now. I had 8 people in a private lobby. But the problem is you still got this crazy password thing instead of just like people joining a private chat or something or a party chat and everybody in that just joins the match. It would be so simple. And also you can't see who's hosting. You know what I'm saying? If you go in, you want to see a guy who's hosting maps, you just want to jump in. You know the guy's a good host that has a lot of nice good maps that aren't just all featured maps. You know, that's the problem, you know.
Yeah. Okay. So Steve says it's not ideal, but it's an improvement. I mean, it's a nudge. It's a nudge in the right direction, but it's still it feels like a pat on the head.
The thing is I feel like it's a dance around because here we are. Everybody wants Far Cry 2's lobby systems. We're not going to get it. You know, that's just plain and simple. So they're trying to give us a bastard child version for here. You know, somebody can host their map, but nobody else can join. You know,
or see it.
We want to be able to go in and look at a list, like see who's playing what map or who is hosting maps. You know, because you might have a favorite person to play on. Like, you know, I'm using Mike G Live for an example again, but you know, in Far Cry 2, he used to host
quite an example.
He used to throw everybody's map in on his server. But what he would do is he would take the time to play a lot of other people's maps that were really good, and he would put them on his server and let those play all day long. Right. You know, and people enjoyed it. It was always full. I mean, people constantly coming in and out playing.
Yeah,
and that's what we want.
I've literally in Far Cry 2, I remember there were so many nights where I'd have just like a playlist of like really great maps going, and I could just keep that lobby. I could keep 16 players in there all fucking night long.
Well,
and it was just.
I tell you what, when Far Cry 2 got released for back compat on the Xbox, there was myself, Lazy Mapper, Fallen Champ, Maestro. There was quite a few heads that just sort of came in. We managed to get a full lobby within minutes of opening that game, and that on back compat. And I think that, as a matter of fact, yeah, I recorded that. It was an absolute crazy night. We
Yeah,
had
it
a
was
full
fun.
lobby all night, and even people were leaving, people were joining, and we had a
Far Cry
good
2 came out in 2008.
Yeah, that's
I
people are
mean-
still playing it sometimes.
Think of how many technological advancements have happened since 2008.
Now here's
But
the thing.
Ubisoft can't do the lobby system. They can't recreate it.
Yeah.
For some reason.
They can't.
Okay,
Yeah.
granted, the lobby system was flawed, but
Yeah.
it was a really good starting point.
right.
It's
If
like
by
saying-
flawed you
it-
mean filtered
Well,
through
here's
all
the-
of the crap, I
Here's the
agree.
thing. People still play Far Cry 2 once in a while, right? But
Yeah,
which,
yeah.
who has the better editor? Far Cry 5 does, I would think, right? More
Right.
colors,
Yeah.
more options.
Well, they have the
Right.
better
Right.
assets.
Facts.
Yeah. Well, what
Better
gameplay?
assets,
What
shapes.
gameplay is smoother? I would say Far Cry 5 is compared
Yeah.
to Far Cry 2.
Yeah.
Oh wait.
Oh, and if they added a couple more game modes and had a better hosting system,
So
everybody would be
they
playing Far Cry
already
5.
have
A
their-
marriage,
their-
a marriage made in
this is
heaven.
why this is why we're all so aggravated, because they're so close, and we have Far Cry blue balls.
Mm.
Yeah.
Seriously, it's
That's
so
Far Cry Blue
close.
Balls.
It is so close.
I will give them at least this. You know, there are patches coming, so it's
Yeah.
not like things are on deaf ears. They might not be listening to the community, but they are at least looking into what is
Yeah,
happening to
improvements.
the game, and they're trying to improve things very slowly,
I think
but it is progressing.
I think the aggravation, a lot of it comes from we've had this. I know I've had feelings before. I've been like, back in Far Cry 3, it was like, okay, well, this sucks now, but they're gonna make it better. They're gonna fix it. Just wait, they're gonna fix it. And eventually, it was just like, they're never gonna fucking fix it. Let's just abandon it.
Yeah,
I'm
let's
done
get
with
it
it.
out.
I'm walking away from it. I mean, I know people that literally
Yeah.
just like threw their set their copy of Far Cry 3 on fire because they're never gonna fix it.
Yeah, I have to sort of like address the elephant in the room of what's been happening at the moment. I have quite a few friends that's like they've literally dropped Far Cry 5 at the moment because of the things that are going on. Do you know what I mean? I know they're gonna patch it. I mean, look, I have to say, from my point of view, I just love building maps. My map personally isn't ready. I'm gonna be spending quite a long time building a map, and hopefully by the time I get to publish it, a lot of the issues would be fixed. Especially
Right.
the one that I'm actually waiting for the one
glaring
issue. The
I think we're all thinking it right now.
yeah, the issue
What?
is that the
Stealing
map
maps?
stealing. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
It's terrible.
The original creator.
Oh.
Right now with what's going on, I cannot bring myself to publish a map. I've got a friend, Maestro, El Maestro.
Don't you want to see 100 copies of your map? Come on.
Not by different people, no.
You
I
don't
said we
need
play
all
a
the
game and go
credit.
out and steal each other's maps.
So Maestro's
We publish it.
yeah. So Maestro's got a map that he's finished, and he's literally scared to publish his map because of
I'm of the same mindset, man.
Do you know what I mean? Look what happened to Cap. Cap, if you want to explain to everybody what happened to your map, do you know what I mean? Because that's kind of crazy, man. That would be appreciated, man. Seriously.
Yeah, so anyways, like I published that D-Day map, and then Forge Labs did a video on it, and then like literally like 2 days later.
Your sound
Your
cut
audio.
out. Your audio cut out.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
We can hear you.
Okay. So yeah, I published that D-Day map.
Oh, and he's just gonna.
Oh, Ubisoft got you, buddy.
Yeah, Ubisoft cut him off.
It's been silenced. Silence! I kill you.
I think he has Time Warner. I think he has Time Warner.
Okay.
Where
Okay.
is-
Can you
All right.
see me now?
Yeah. We can.
Who's your internet provider?
We thought Ubisoft cut you off.
It's a shit browser, bro. Okay, so anyways, back to what I was saying. Okay, so I published the D-Day map, and then Forge Labs did a video on it, And then after he did a video on it, like 2 days later, someone came, downloaded it, and then saved as, changed the name to like D-Day Dog Green AI, and then just set it to like assault, and then it just saved over the original creator, and then like that guy's name's in there. I think his name was like Atomic Nate Dog or some shit.
Yeah. So
But yeah, man, it's fucking bullshit. People can just like come and steal your maps like that. Just save over it.
And
Change
here-
the name or the game type.
So setting this, I mean, obviously it's a huge issue, but even just putting that aside for a minute and just saying, okay, there's no map stealing or anything. Even as it stands, the title of the map should literally have, it should be like D-Day by Captain Hindsight, like right on the front splash page. You know what I mean?
Seriously.
But instead, to find out who made the map, you have to like go through.
Yeah.
Press
You have, to, like,
Y.
you have to like open the, yeah, it should be right on the front page,
This
there's so many issues around that. But
these are the things that we have to talk about, and I think
it feels like they're trolling us.
They should have got.
They are trolling.
Yeah. Well, the thing that I want to discuss is that I just want to sort of like bring things up to the forefront. Ubisoft need to understand something as well too, because there's a lot of anger that's sort of like this is been coming for a long time. This is from Far Cry 3, from the broken promises and all sorts. They're dealing with a lot of passionate people, but they're also as well too. It's like look, you pay your money for the game, right? Why should we have to wait weeks and months, for a patch for a game that we paid for as a consumer? Do you know what I mean? Like, where the consumers, we're buying your product, we're buying the product, we're trusting Ubisoft, right? That they're coming up with a product. Now, I'm not even being funny or anything like that. God of War came out. Was it last week? I think it came out. It was on the 20th anyway. God of War came out. Now I know it's been singing high praises. That game is absolutely like it's really good. There's nothing wrong with the game. I think I only had one glitch, and it was only for a brief moment. A piece of bucket that I'd broken had stuck to his neck. It was nothing. Do you know what I mean? That was it.
Yeah.
But there was no glitches in that game. Anything that I did in that game, if I messed up, it was all on me. Do you know what I mean? Because it's purely skill based. But the money that I paid for that game, I got everything that I wanted in that game, and it was working day one. There was no issue. I didn't find any issue anywhere with the game.
I mean, a lot of that has to do with the way the game is built. I mean, it is kind of like all the moving parts are very intentionally what they're meant to be, where they're meant to be. Whereas like a game like Far Cry, there's so many moving parts just kind of pushed out into this.
I know it's like an
sandbox
open
or whatever.
world. Yeah, I know it's like an open world sort of game. Do you know what I mean?
But there is something to be said about having a focused intention for everything that they're doing within the game, instead of having it just be like, oh, let's just make all these moving parts and just let them fly, like.
They always seem like they're trying to invent the wheel. You know what I'm saying? We all said that Far Cry 2, the lobby system worked. So why do they keep changing things?
Build it from there. I mean, that's the most aggravating thing, is that
I want to meet the people who complained about the lobby system on why they changed it.
I mean, that is a reason too.
So I think what they need to do. I mean, obviously they brought a bunch of like mappers from back in the day. They brought a bunch of you guys in and said, hey, what do you want us to do? And you're just like, this is what you should do. And they're like, oh, okay, well, I don't know about that. Well, why the hell did you fly us out here? What are we doing here?
I know. Exactly.
I know you wanted a dog, but here's a turtle.
Yeah. It's almost a dog.
So I mean, I praised Ubisoft for making such a great map editor.
Sure.
The map editor was great.
It is great.
It still needs work on it. It's absolutely fantastic. I mean, for the first time, I'm able to build. I mean, I'm in the middle of building a giant spider tank, and it's going absolutely well. And my budget limit is still quite low. I'm still in the sort of like 20%, 19, 20%. Do you know what I mean? I was never able to do that before.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
As far as in-game and as far as in-game editors, it's arguably one of the best I've ever seen.
Yeah, I'd definitely say it's the best. But
if not the best, it's up there.
Yeah, but what ruins it is, obviously, being able to. I mean, some people spend weeks putting those maps together. Some people spend months putting those maps together. Do you know what I mean? And how can you spend such a long time putting a map together and then end up playing Shovel Dodgers or Farm Cry?
It's like they've developed this like really incredible ammunition for a gun that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So some of the things that we were talking about the lobby system is the picking maps glitches, the auto picking Ubisoft maps. The timer, the timer is like what? Is it like 15 seconds or something like that to pick a map?
Yeah, something like that.
So it's like.
I guess they're raising the time of that now. I guess I heard that.
Yeah.
They bumped it up a little.
Right. So.
But even then, I mean, you got to think about the UI right now, the user interface that they're using.
It's not very intuitive.
No.
Right. Like, not to throw Forge Labs back out there again, but I mean, he did come up with a great UI template where you have the top rated maps on one side, and this is all on one screen, and in the middle there you had what is it, your published maps or and then
your favorites.
over on the other side you had favorites and stuff, so you had something to pick from where you get to pick Ubisoft maps or the the newest maps or your favorited maps. It's all right there for you, and you just click. You don't have to hit an X button and go to filters and then like rush. You get an anxiety to go down and like, oh shit, I've got 5 different options to choose from, and then you got to go through different pages of things if you have a lot of maps that you really like.
Right.
Yeah, and then you got the banner in front of it too, and then you don't even know if you picked your map. You're like looking, and
the bright neon colors don't help. I mean. You know what I mean? Like even like I wear glasses. You know what I mean for like reading and stuff. Like my eyesight's kind of going. So for me, because of all the bright colors on the screen, it's like everything's merged into one. And I actually when I'm going through the menu, I get flustered. Do you know what I mean? Trying to navigate myself through the menu. I don't know if anyone else has that problem.
Oh yeah, I definitely get flustered.
Yeah, I get flustered. Do you know what I mean?
It's a mad dash. It's a feeling of panic.
Even worse is when you finally get it. You've got 3 seconds left. You click on it, and then bam, you're like, yes, I got it up there, and then it doesn't even show.
And then you get this banner that stretches across all the thumbnails that says select your map, and you can't see the thumbnails because there's this banner that literally stays there for like 2 whole seconds.
Yeah.
And what's funny is the featured
every
map,
second counts.
Remember that all the featured maps are already up there, so people are already getting ready to vote on those before you're even able to select your map or a friend's map to go up on the list. So it's like they've already ready, and all of a sudden Shovel Dodgers has 4 votes. And you're like, no, look at mine. You click yours as 1 vote on yours, and Shovel Dodgers goes up to 6 votes. It's just it's constant. And no offense to the guy who made Shovel Dodgers, it's a great game. But
it's fun.
It's just exactly. It's just one of those things that you just don't want to. You don't want to play it like over and over and over again. Do you know what I mean?
That's the point of the map editor, is so we have this variety, this kind of it should be endless at this point,
right?
And,
right. So the other thing that I want to talk about as well with the multiplayer is the 10-minute timer. You have 10 minutes for a game. So what that rules out, it rules out large maps. If you want to build a large map, those large maps are only segregated to single player maps.
Combine that with the no vehicle respawning, and they're basically like, make a little box.
So basically, you're only reduced. What's the point, in giving us such a large map area, and you can't actually build a large map out of it because of the 10-minute timer. Do you know what I mean? You've got 10 minutes to play a map. 10 minutes to play a map. Wow.
Yeah,
you
you
know
can't
what I
make
mean?
them escape maps either.
Right.
Like I play with a whole bunch of friends. You can't.
Well,
can't
you,
really
you
play
can
with
make
maps.
you can make escape maps, but that's only reduced down to like sort of like co-op, single player and co-op.
Yeah, that's it.
There's no timer on it.
Is there a time limit on journey maps?
No,
I
no,
don't think there is.
no, there isn't.
Okay.
No, there isn't. There isn't. So if you wanted to make a single
But you
player
could
map,
make an escape map that way.
well, the
Yeah,
thing.
you could. I'm saying if you want to play with a group of friends.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
So the thing is
Well, it'd be
now.
nice if you could have a private lobby and bring in single player maps into a private lobby as well, and then that would fix that.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Because I can see
you
the
still have the
issue. If you
timer,
want to play an
though.
escape map and you have 12 people, you know, in a multiplayer match trying to play a escape map, you're going to have people constantly leaving and coming in and
There's
kind of
going to be
messing
people
up your
killing each other too.
experience.
They're going to miss the point. There's a lot of people who are going to miss the point.
Oh,
It's like that
absolutely.
one Nick that's just like gunning down everybody.
That used to happen.
Yeah, it would be
Yeah,
nice.
you know.
It would be
Far Cry
nice.
2.
It's happening all
Yeah.
the time in Far Cry 2.
It would be nice to have like a timer limit. So, like, say for instance, I know a lot of people have wanted to make battle royale maps because of games like Fortnite or PUBG. Do you know what I mean? And you literally can't make those type of maps. Not really, like I said, because of the time limit. So, if they're going to use the time limit, I think that they should sort of like have a choice to increase the time limit, you know, from either 10 to 15 to 20 max, probably. Do you know what I mean? You know, I think that would be a nice incentive to be able to increase the timer. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, so
I would
that you
have
can-
to argue the point that the average player, unfortunately, is
I'll be
not
back.
going to want to spend like say 20 minutes on a map. You know, if you want to see variety and everything, it's not so much as a problem with the 10 minutes for me, but like if I got onto a map and say the match was 30 minutes, I would get a little overwhelmed and bored. You know, it'd be like say somebody putting no time limit and having the kill count to like 200. You know, it'll take quite a while to reach that score.
There was a workaround for that at one point. I remember in Far Cry 2, where it was like, was it in Far Cry 2 or
Both
1?
ends.
Where you can extend the
2.
map time?
Yeah,
Like, you
yeah.
can
I
vote
could definitely
to
agree to
extend-
that.
You can either vote to extend the match or you can vote to end it. So
Yeah, and
everybody
I
basically be
agree
like,
with that.
Wasn't that
if
in
people are like,
was it
"Dude,
in
I'm
Far
bored
Cry?
with
Was it in
this."
Far Cry 3? I don't remember that being in
That
Far
was
Cry
in,
2.
No,
that was in 2.
Two.
That was in 2.
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
yeah, where it was basically like, okay, time's going on for a bit. We're gonna vote
Yeah.
to see if you want to keep going with the match or not. And if it was a good map and people were enjoying it, you can extend the map time. If you were one of those people that were like, I want to get out of here, well, I mean, you
Yeah.
totally can. You can
And
leave.
everybody could vote on it. You know?
Yeah. So, you know, that's
I do have one other thing I want to mention. I don't know if anybody else is this, but when you're setting up your loadouts and stuff like that, because in my Steel Foundry map, one of my loadouts I want to make like a really just kind of intense like melee based loadout, and I wanted to like kind of max out the ammo that you could have for melee weapons. But I noticed even if you crank it up to like, I think 8 is the max for melee weapons, when you actually get in and explore, you only have like 3 of each one of the weapons. It doesn't actually give you 8.
it's not representative. It's not representative.
Death Weapon made with a loadout. He had 10 shovels and it worked.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just noticed when I go to play the map, just like testing it, it won't actually give you.
It just gives you the value of 3, but there's actually 10.
So
Well, I noticed that I can only like if I'm throwing them and I can only throw 3. I don't have 10, so maybe it's just me.
well,
You're gonna find that it's probably too much actually for melee.
I had an issue today where I was just sort of testing out my loadouts, and I went straight for stealth. Now, I was under the assumption that with stealth mode, Jay, you would automatically have like your suppressors on your weapons and stuff, but I've not seen anything in the loadouts or even in the options that you can even put suppressors on or anything like that. Am I doing something wrong?
Yeah, you have to hit Y, I believe, in the loadout, and then you can add attachments.
Ah, right. Okay, then. So then that's
You'll
me.
see attachments.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So that means as well. Once I do the loadouts as well, and everything's set, and I publish the map, that means that everyone who's chosen those weapons, they will have their own skins attached to them automatically and so forth, right?
Some of them, yeah. Some of them.
Only some
Yeah.
of them, right?
So if you, I believe on loadouts you don't automatically get your skins. Now, correct me if I'm wrong on that, but you can, like, if you pick up somebody else's weapon off the ground, it will have the skins of their weapons. But it's like, I guess what I should say, if you don't go through the single player and get all the attachments, you won't have them in the multiplayer.
Right.
Yeah.
But you can pick up other people's off the ground.
Well, I had skins on my bat, and somebody had, like, the bat one. It would show up as my skin in the beginning of the game. So
yeah, I've picked a couple of
multiplayer.
weapons. It's just that the only reason why I'm saying this is because, like I said, I was testing it all out today on my map, and I just didn't see my own skins on there or anything like that. So I would have thought that you would have been able to sort of like have your own skins in the editor as well too. Do you know what I mean?
Something else you might not be aware of also that Fallen Champ mentioned to me is if you start a new game, all your stuff gets reset. If you bought your skins with gold bars, you might be able to keep it, but everything gets reset. All your skills that you accomplished on, in the campaign, all that gets reset again, which is kind of like a bunch of BS, if you ask me. Because you get all them extra skills in the campaign.
Right.
You add them skill points.
Right, guys. We're gonna move things on a little bit. We've got the last thing that we want to talk about with multiplayer and lobby system is additional game modes. Obviously, with the state of things at this particular moment, do you think it's wise for them to add an extra game mode, or is it something that we actually really need?
Yes,
I think it's
they need
imperative
it.
that you add game modes to keep the game going. There has to be something farther.
Yeah, it's dull.
Yeah, I agree, but I also think they should fix it first.
Well, yeah, they got to fix it, of course.
yeah.
Well, my thing is, what if we got a game mode per DLC? I'm perfectly fine with that. Say if we got domination with the next DLC, and then maybe capture the flag comes later down the road, that'll keep interest in, it'll keep people reworking maps and keep the community flowing.
Yeah.
Domination or capture the something or other. Yeah.
As I was saying earlier on as well too. Yeah. What do you guys think about the? I mean, obviously, with the we have talked about the current state of things. What do you think about? Some people sort of like dropping Far Cry at the moment. Do you know what I mean? Like the drop is really significant. Actually, it's quite big.
I mean, to be honest, I'm really like kind of on the line myself. I'm really not playing it much. I mess with the editor occasionally now, but like I'm not in any kind of rush to get my map done. Just to let you know, for the obvious reasons that I can't lock the map and keep people from stealing it. I'm not going to get the credit for all of the obviously over 100 hours I've spent on this thing at this point. Like I'm not in a hurry to finish it, and I'm almost at the point where I don't care. And I don't want to feel like that because I fucking love Far Cry. But I'm like, it's not a nice feeling. It's kind of like a defense mechanism, You get your heart broken so many times, You just gotta do what you gotta do.
Well, Death Weapon and Captain might notice this. I noticed at night it's harder to get matches, like regular lobbies. It's starting to die off. That's what's happening right now.
Especially you have a group, like a 6 people, and you're trying to get into lobbies. It's
very hard.
Man. You'll be waiting at least 10 minutes.
Yeah. 10 minutes. So that's just showing you that at the lobbies, they're not getting as filled as fast.
I feel like if they would have done their beta testing and actually opened it up and had a live beta test,
they should have
had the known issues. I feel like we wouldn't be in this situation currently. I believe that we would have had the players, because the thing is you can make maps all day, but if the multiplayer is broken, nobody's going to stick around. The players far outweigh the editors. We know this, but we're only here as long as the players are around.
I think what we're all maybe failing to overlook is that maybe this is a paid beta.
um, I'm. I
They
mean,
got us.
I'm at the sort of like crossroads at the moment. Just with the way that Far Cry is, I don't play multiplayer, whatsoever. I just don't engage in it because I know that I'm gonna throw my controller over the other side of the room, and I'm not in the mood to pay for another controller. Do you know what I
Controllers
mean?
are not
Yeah.
cheap.
And they're not. Yeah, they're not. Do you know what I mean?
Unless you get like a bad cast or something like that.
Yeah.
That's gonna
Then
shatter
your
whatever.
girlfriend's going to be playing controller dodgers.
The new game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm kind of like I'm frustrated right now. That's my general mood, but I've backed off. I'm just at the moment I'm building a map at the moment. And like I says, I won't be publishing it until the original creator thing has been, fixed.
I don't believe it ever will be, to be honest with you.
I
don't want
I'm
you to look
honestly,
back.
I'm of that same mindset. Look back at 3 and 4 and the issues that, especially with 3, the things that I anticipated were going to get fixed. I just was really holding out a lot of hope. Like, oh, they know we want this. They're working on it, you know. But it's I don't.
So with all of that being said, what do you guys think about the DLC coming into place? Because I know that's gonna like, I don't know when the DLC is gonna come into place or anything like that, or whether they're going to roll out some patches first before they start introducing this DLC.
That's the
gonna
most
They have to.
reasonable thing for them to do, is to just, kind of clean house first before they start inviting more crap into the situation.
Right. Okay, so we know that the general mood is. Has anyone been in the forums lately and sort of like gathered the mood, or do you think that whatever's been going on in the forum? Because I've stayed away from the forums. Do you know what I mean, for a bit? And I'm only hearing what people are telling me. On
The
Xbox.
forums are basically just like, it's an echo chamber. There's no point in even going
Right.
there.
Yeah.
There's
Right.
no. I mean, there's
It's
very
kinda
little
dumb.
feedback.
And everybody's trying to push their maps because they can't get
Yeah.
them played.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Everyone's like, here, Ubi, look at my maps, pick them, feature them.
I haven't even
Pretty
gone
much.
onto forums to even post my maps or anything else like that. Because be honest with you, it's like I really appreciate the YouTubers that have put my map up there and showcase it. But I like it for the artwork side of it, not necessarily, hey, I want people to really pay attention to who I am, because
Right.
just like what Captain Hindsight had, it's just going to be stolen, or it's going to be the whole getting up on, even if it made it onto a featured list, what does that really mean? It means people are going to be sick and tired of playing it after, a couple of days. They're going to be like, please, can we just move on to the
And
next map?
it's like they've just announced another map jam contest, and
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
I've
And
just
when do we have like 18 days to build a map?
Yeah. 18 days. I know.
Do you know something? With the map jam contest, obviously I take too long to build maps. Anyway, but I just felt like why would I be interested in a map jam contest when I want the game fixing? Do you know?
Yeah,
It's
that's
like
true.
like that's how I
It's-
feel. Like I can't. How can I bring myself
Yeah.
to enter a
There's
contest?
a lot of kids that are just like, oh, that's cool, it's fun map jam thing. I can build an apocalyptic parkour map, and
It actually sounds
Well,
good.
It
It's a good
does, but
theme.
those
Well,
types of
it's-
maps are easy to make, dude.
Well, yeah, you
All
can
have to
literally
do is
just
like fucking rubble and shit.
throw a bunch of rubble and trash
Blow up
down.
buildings, like it's easy.
Yeah, you can do that in 18 days.
So
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
we're,
Probably like 5.
so
Just
we're
put
gonna
a bunch of smashed cars down.
Building
right.
some trees.
So let's move on to the next subject. We've actually covered this as well too. And it's updates and bug fixes. And sort of like, what's going on in the forums, post-launch and community support. So I think we've already discussed the updates and the bug fixes, what's going on. We've already discussed what's sort of going on in the forums as well too. So one of the things that I'd like to talk about is the support from Ubisoft. So what happened, man? Like really, like what happened? Because as far as I was concerned, yeah, we had massive support from a lot of the sort of community leaders. Is there something going on with the?
I personally, I think they wanted to patch the campaign first, and that's what they focused on. But we didn't get a lot of
conversation.
What's that?
Nothing. I was just having an outside conversation
But I think they, that's what they focused on. They're now starting to come around to putting some posts for the multiplayer.
Right.
At least that's what it looks like to me.
Right. So I think what I'm saying is that like they seem to be like the community managers and stuff. They seem to be.
They weren't quiet.
They were. We had a lot of communication with them. Do you know what I mean? And in the forums, plus on Facebook. You know what I mean? Like Matthias was sort of like he was joining in everything, and it's like they've just gone dark.
That's
but
how they get you, man.
I was also thinking as well too. Maybe they've got a skeleton team running things at the moment, while a few people have probably gone on, vacation holiday maybe, or something. I don't know. I'm just speculating, really and truthfully. Do you know what I mean? But
they're working on the next Assassin's Creed.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but it's like the communication just sort of like ceased to exist. Really, and all we've got, we're back to square one.
Well, was the communication ever really there for the average mapper that's asking a question on a forum? It's fallen on deaf ears. You might get we're working on that, or we're looking into it, kind of deal, but you never get a definitive answer.
Mm-hmm.
Even so, it's like you have to write a private email and pray that somebody gives you some kind of response. It's just. I feel like the PR with this game is absolutely horrific. If you're not a major YouTuber, you're not going to get a response. It's pretty much they have so many people on damage control, and
you basically have to force a response from them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of standard operating procedure for Ubisoft. I mean, what's really disappointing is it really felt like leading up to this, it felt like there was more happening as far as communication goes. It really felt like this time it's going to be different, and it's it's really not.
Can I just sort of throw? So Remo99 says too early for a contest. I think right now a map contest means more stuff to steal.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Definitely.
And Steve Botter,
Definitely.
Says those weekly challenges and or Ubisoft's own live stream with Friday arcade nights. What's all that about?
I haven't caught it. I haven't seen it. I heard there was some.
See, this is the thing. Like, it doesn't interest me. Like none of this. I mean, we might just be a small pocket of people. Do you know what I mean? But none of that interests me because I'm still waiting for the game to be fixed before I cannot put my attention onto something. On a personal thing, I can't put all my attention onto something that's half baked. Do you know what I mean? I find that's really very difficult.
That's exactly where I'm at with it. It's just like life is kind of like already chaotic as it is, and there's enough disappointments from real life in a lot of scenarios. There's kind of life's expensive too. So like to be pouring so much energy into something that's not giving back to you the way you would expect or hoped. it's hard to stay enthusiastic. So which is why it's really important for them to be kind of focused on maintaining a relationship with their
more
consumers.
communication. Yeah.
I mean, there are plenty of like, especially like independent developers and stuff. There's plenty of communication, and a lot of feedback actually is taken to heart. But there's, under this corporate structure that Ubisoft has to deal with, it's kind of just like, it's just another cog in the wheel. So we can't. I think maybe we're just expecting too much from them at this point.
We should expect too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not denying that fact at all. But like, I mean, it's, you can.
This is fool me twice, fool me three times.
This is the third run of it. Yeah.
And I've got, I've got a bunch of friends, that are just not touching the game at all. And
I mean, I can tell you though, like as far as the campaign goes, it's good, stupid fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is fun.
I did a stream the other night where I took down an airplane with a slingshot.
Wow.
That's great. That's that's what we've got as far as like the value from Far Cry 5 right now is like you're getting it mostly out of the main campaign, and the map editor itself. It's like the editor was the draw for me. I mean, the only reason I bought it was for this editor, and it was that if I was just buying the editor alone, and I was working on building a portfolio or something around it, sure, fine. But yeah, there needs to be something to support that editor.
Yeah, to me right now, what the editor has become to me is I like to get on my Xbox Live party and talk to everybody, and this is kind of like it's become my creative outlet while I talk and shoot the shit with everybody.
It's essentially like advanced Legos.
Yeah, for a lot of it, I do like to play other people's maps, like maps people have created. All my friends and everything, they're great, but you never take it too serious because of just the issues that are surrounding it all.
I'm I've come to the conclusion that, especially after the last two, and now this is like the third kind of nail in the coffin to just realize that like it's never gonna be what it was. It's just it is what it is. It's never gonna be what it was. They're clearly not gonna do the obvious thing and look at what worked and see what all the fuss is about. And that's just not. They're not looking at it from a logical standpoint from the gamer's perspective. They're looking down from Money Mountain. And it's amazing that they're able to see what they have seen and do what they've done, honestly, considering just how convoluted everything has been for the, since, I don't know when the hell Far Cry 3 came out.
So but I get the general feeling that right now everyone's confused, frustrated, not definitely not forgiving. And it's just it's like we're playing this waiting game now. So much so that the only time I map now, is when I'm just sort of like relaxing and I'm chilling and stuff like that. But like I said, I've been playing other games, and that shouldn't be the case because I bought Far Cry 5 to support the community, to be enthusiastic, to build maps, to get back into those chats. I mean, I tell you what. I'm going to start. I mean, at the beginning of this podcast, we've been talking a lot about the sort of disappointments and the way that we all feel. And we all feel generally the same. And there's a lot of people that share the same sentiments as well, too. But one of the great things that I've found, with Far Cry 5 is getting back into the chat, talking with people, like-minded people, like Death Weapon, do you know what I mean? Lazy Mapper, Captain Hindsight, we've all been in the same party and we're all mapping. There could be about, I don't know, 10 people in the same party and everybody's working on their own maps and they're helping each other go through the menus and helping each other figure things out and stuff like that. Now, I'm glad that that's back. Do you know what I mean? Because it's been a long time since I've felt that vibe, you know what I mean? And it's great to just sit there. And then sometimes the party chat would just go silent and everybody in that party knows that we're all mapping. Do you know what I mean? It's as simple as that. And then you get some, you get some really sort of like, you get that, you get mature people who go into the multiplayer, and they'll literally leave the party to join somebody else to go into the multiplayer so as not to disturb the ones who were out already mapping. Do you know what I mean? So there's that excitement there, and sharing what you've built, even if it's just like half a build and stuff like that. I mean, I've been building this spider tank, and it's been really great just sharing these posts, between people, seeing what Death Weapon's building, seeing what Captain Hindsight's building, and Mother Bumper and so forth. It's really nice to see what's been going on. Do you know what I mean? And I see Captain Hindsight getting roasted by his son, Star Wars style.
Yeah.
He's getting the lightsaber. You're gonna lose an arm.
Yeah, that's it. And it's always the cute giggle.
He's enjoying this way too much.
I like what Remo99 has said right here. He said, the map editor right now is like a big buffet that looks really good, but nothing is properly cooked, and the chef left the kitchen on vacation.
I like that analogy.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Yeah, Remo, you got that in one, man, for sure.
Yeah.
So
we've all been there.
The last subject, we've actually covered quite a lot today. But the last subject is the sort of campaign and story mode.
Well, I'm out.
It is a lot of fun.
I played 20 minutes to get into the editor and to get into multiplayer, and then that's it. I'm here for the multiplayer.
It's like first person mode, Grand Theft Auto, but in Montana.
I've actually
no prostitutes.
I've actually come across some brilliant some excellent times that just couldn't be scripted. The things that have been happening in the campaign is incredible.
Some of the shit that happens is just like you can't make the shit up.
You really can't make it up. And I did record, and I'm hoping I still have that video. But I came across, there was one out of all the chaos that was going on. I think I shared this with you guys at some point. I don't know when, but it was ages ago. But I came across this one moment where it was a random moment where I'd ran into this backyard and I'd heard some singing, and there was this guy that was sat there with a guitar, and there was this couple that was just dancing. Do you know what I mean? So it was like I was shouting at my girlfriend. I was like, Louise, look at this, and I'm looking around with the camera, and there's this couple that's just dancing. And I was just sat there thinking and just watching this moment, and I was thinking, out of all of the chaos, this couple had the time to just sort of forget about all their problems and just dance away. So it was like a sort of like profound moment, and just that alone, it was like it was really immersive just to see something like that. The amount of detail and attention that they've brought to that single player game is unbelievable. One shot in a guy out of a helicopter, and watching his corpse fall out of a helicopter or a plane is just incredible. Do you know what I mean? Like, with the sniper rifle, it's just
the whole time with like the couple dancing and stuff. I'm just waiting for a mountain lion to jump out in the story.
Take them out.
The other moment.
What was the one YouTuber that was like fishing, and all of a sudden a bear comes out of nowhere and just balls him over and starts attacking him and everything? I can't wait for that experience.
Yeah, that does happen.
There's one side mission that I'm not going to give away any spoilers, but they're like filming Blood Dragon 3, and hilarious. They had the director there saying, "I'm tired," and the critics about Far Cry how they make how to make level design and stuff. It's a very funny
Yeah, it's a
side
little
mission.
tongue-in-cheek nod to. It's almost like they were reading the forum posts.
Yeah, exactly.
Did anyone do a quest with this mad scientist? There was
That was a good one too.
has anyone done that quest? It's like you
I
get a
haven't
special
done that.
you get a special weapon from him. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna spoil
I've
it.
seen the
You're
weapon.
fine.
I've seen the weapon.
Right.
Which kind of like it,
Gravity gun.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
something like
like
that. Yeah, but it's
I
more.
want it.
Yeah, but
It's
it's more of a shotgun. You have to be up close before it has a real effect on.
it's
on
really
the enemies.
goofy, man. It's like kind of like something that you'd see in Saints Row,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
But
something.
why couldn't they implement that into the multiplayer? Why can't we get some fun stuff like that?
Well, this
Yeah,
is what I was
that's
thinking. Like you have to play. I don't want to spoil it, yeah. But in the quest, something happens to him, and I'm just wondering, if he's going to appear in this Mars quest. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, or the gun even.
yeah, I'm just,
That would be kinda cool.
you know what I mean? It was just something that I thought about while I was playing the quest. You know what I mean?
Like maybe they're foreshadowing for a future DLC.
Right, exactly. Do you know what I mean? Like
Get down with that.
yeah, because he's into sort of like this isn't a spoiler or anything like that, but this guy's into conspiracy theories and so forth.
Yeah.
It's a really good quest actually. It's an interesting quest. Do you know what I mean? And I was happy to see Herc back as well too, man. He was so funny. I was on a quest, just listening to him just jabbering on in the car while he was taking us to
Yeah.
the next destination. The guy is so funny, man.
he seems like he's right at home.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I thought he was funny in Far Cry 4, but like
He fits the environment so well. It's like he's really just part of the place.
Yeah, he's back home.
and he
Yeah.
kept on
Fall back with his shit.
he actually
With his
kept on
family.
talking about the monkeys as well too from Far Cry 4. Do you know what I mean? So he has like references to
obsessed about
karate. Do you know what I mean? So I thought that was really
wow.
good. I thought that was really cool how they done that. Do you know what I mean? So I'm very happy with the campaign. I've completed it. So I'm not gonna spoil it or anything like that. I would just wish there was a game plus. Do you know what I mean? So that I didn't have to reset everything. At the moment, I'm trying to finish off a lot of other stuff. I wish I'd have finished it off before I'd finished the main quest, because now I'm stuck sort of resetting the outposts at the moment.
Yeah.
So so because I've completed the game, I can't finish off all the other side missions without resetting the outposts. Do you know what I mean? Because there's hardly any enemies about now. Do you know what I mean? There is that. So I hope. I've heard rumors, just rumors. So it's all speculative, that it's possible that they may introduce a game plus. I'm
I
hoping
mean, a
that
lot
they
of people
do.
are asking for it.
Yeah, I'm hoping that they do. Because right now, besides the editor, the main campaign seems to be the best thing about Far Cry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't know what anyone else thinks about the campaign mode.
I hate it.
I
It's terrible.
can't really comment on it. 'Cause I haven't.
I feel like it was
I've
a
been
gateway into
playing it.
multiplayer.
Editor.
No, it's a good time.
It is a lot of fun, man. It is a lot of fun, man. Seriously. I've actually enjoyed, although the story for me doesn't compare to Vass.
Yeah.
I think that for me, it's been the most fun campaign, I believe.
Well, I think a lot of
Right.
Voss was like the actor that played him too. I mean, like he was just really good. He played that role really well, and just like the idea around Voss was really interesting.
Mm.
I mean, having a cult leaders are inherently just kind of almost removed from reality. So like you can't they're like not really engaged directly with you. Like even when the father looks at you. He's basically looking through you. He's not actually
Yeah.
like communicating with you.
Yeah.
So there's like really this really impersonal separation there. It's not personal at all with him. So which is why it feels like Voss was more interesting, because that was really personal. That was personal on a level that they didn't even fully explain. But it was like,
wasn't it pretty like personal too in like Far Cry 4 with Pagan Mean?
kind
Yeah,
of, but not
little
as
bit.
like the whole concept of Voss was that like he was almost like you're almost questioning whether or not you were Voss, you know, or whether you could easily become Voss, which was like super personal. So I like that kind of psychological aspect
What
of it.
I liked about the campaign though, Far Cry 5 is it's more varied. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? These quests are really more thought out. It seems.
The
And
map
some of them
is
are fun.
huge.
Yeah.
Yo, that map is massive. I'm like, yo.
Like a GTA map or some shit.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
almost like a GTA map.
Wow, that map is huge, man. Seriously, I'm like, wow. It's like it's too big. That's what she said. Sorry, I had to get that one in there.
Yeah, but too bad that most people don't know how to use it. So.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ooh. So yeah, the map was absolutely huge, but I did have a good time. I'm just reading some of the comments here. What was it? Let me see. Ooh, that's I actually missed.
So Steve said if you restart the game, you lose unlocked items unless you bought them with silver bars.
Silver bars, yep. Isn't that what you said earlier on, Leslie?
Ubisoft, you sneaky fuckers.
Yeah. Lazy Mapper, I'd rather play campaign than shovel dodgers. Lazy Mapper, I mean.
Yeah.
I thought that was you, Lazy Map.
No, that's my girlfriend.
That's his alter ego.
Yeah. That's when I decided to cross dress.
Wow, really? Right,
Maybe.
so
Guys, gender's fluid.
So Remo says, I enjoyed it in co-op, fun game, but Faith Seed part of the map was not good as the rest of not as good as the rest of the map. It's one of those, do you know what I mean? You know, whatever sort of suits you. I think with Faith Seed, she could be annoying. She was the first I got rid of. Because she could be really annoying.
I think I just now ended up in her territory because I was trying to get Peaches the mountain lion or puma or whatever the hell people want to call it.
All right.
That's why I'm there.
I think it is Peaches.
I'm here for the peaches.
I'm here for the peaches.
So guys, what's your general take? I mean, there is this patch that's supposed to be coming on Tuesday. I don't think it's for the consoles. At least I'm not sure whether it's for the consoles. I'm sure it'll be rolled out to the PC first.
The way
right?
that's going to work is the PC always gets it first, and then also PlayStation will get it. Unfortunately for Xbox, I have to do all the Microsoft hoops and everything else for them to approve it.
Right.
And then you're probably, if it's like last time, we got it almost a week later after the patch, and with that, we also came to the problem of you can't post videos. So get prepared to have like a day of not being able to share pics and videos of any of your maps.
Yeah, that's right. It was like that last time with the last update.
Yeah.
Right.
Hopefully, maybe they've addressed that issue. But I mean, that's the way Microsoft has kind of played it for a few games that I've played anyway, because it always takes time for the console.
Yeah, I think your posts can disappear in the clubs because I had some people complaining the post disappeared, and it might be because of the updates or something.
Yeah, mine definitely did. I experienced that.
So everybody sort of shares the same sentiments at the moment. You know what I mean? There's a lot of sort of confusion. There's a lot of, there's a lot of, impatience, but it's very much warranted. Do you know what I mean? And it's just a case of just
a lot of disappointment,
yeah. So
a lot of
basic.
sadness,
Yeah,
misery.
I shed a
Sorry.
tear, a couple of tears.
Well, my outtake on it is yes, I am thoroughly disappointed, but I feel like these band-aids can at least help me heal a little bit on the fact of keeping afloat until maybe one day they get things fixed, or maybe use this as a stepping stone to yet another disappointing Far Cry. I don't know.
Yeah,
So
maybe they'll learn some lessons from this, and
For
make
some
Far Cry 6 just at least
for some reason I
tiny bit better.
keep holding on to hope. Yeah, that there's so many. This is the reason why I'm more sort of confused and frustrated is because you know they have
They're close, man.
they
They've
have
got a lot of the pieces.
right. They have the editor that we've all wanted. They have it. They have a great campaign next to that. You could tell that they spent time on the campaign. You could tell that they spent time on the editor.
Definitely.
The one thing that's killing off this game right now is the multiplayer in the lobby. It's as simple as that. That's the one thing. I'm seeing a lot of people dropping off. I think some people will come back.
well, you've got players that don't want to play the game because of the multiplayer issues. With the names and everything. That's
Right.
getting fixed. But you also have the editors that don't want to list a map because of the fear of their map being stolen and not getting recognition for hours upon hours worth of work.
Yeah.
So, we need to, find common ground there, and then we have a game. The game is there. We got to find that bridge to bring the players and the editors back together.
Right.
And there's part of me that just wants to make a bunch of maps really fast and just name them all "Steal This Map." just to get maps out there, just make like a really quick. Maybe I'll make a quick like apocalyptic parkour map. Just call it steal this map MJ2.
So guys, this has been our eighth podcast. I mean, for us
8.2.
8.2, yeah, 8.2 with all the sound issues that we had at the beginning. So this is our 8th podcast. It's nice to be here with with you guys and the people who've joined us in the Twitch stream as well too. Still sort of talking about Far Cry, and something that we're all passionate about. We will continue to do the podcasts. So the podcasts are always sort of like once a month. The live podcasts are always once a month, and then I'll upload it to my YouTube channel afterwards. It's been a hard month since Far Cry 5 has come out. So again, we'll kind of look at this again, in a month's time, next month, end of next month, and hopefully we'll have a few more positive things to say because
I mean, for anybody that's watching this in posterity, there is a very important lesson to be gained from the little bit of feedback that Ubisoft did give to Forge Labs. I think, that's what they're called, Forge Labs.
Yeah, that's right.
And when you watch Forge Labs videos, when he's talking about discussing things with Ubisoft, he's not tearing them down. He's basically saying, "Look, I know you guys are working hard. I know you're it's not the easiest thing to do." And he's approaching them with patience and understanding. And I think it helps that he has a bigger channel or whatever. But I think the takeaway from that is to just say, okay, look, this sucks and we're all upset. And, it's easy to just be like, fuck Ubisoft or whatever. But like when you're talking to them and you're trying to get feedback from them, they're not going to want to listen unless you're just saying, hey, look, this is a constructive criticism. We understand, we love the game so far. It's great. This is what we can improve on and be constructive. Because just honestly, and there's a lot of people who are just going to bitch and whine and stomp their feet, but that's not going to get
That's not going to get
anybody
things done.
anywhere.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's just, it's something that you see in gaming communities just in general.
The toxicity just can't, you know what I mean?
And that's like, if I'm a developer, the last thing I want to do is open my email and read trash and respond to it. So yeah, no kidding, they're not responding to a lot of this stuff. But when they are responding, it's to positive and creative and constructive criticisms and feedback. So as much as I've really kind of picked on Ubisoft in some of my videos or whatever, like, you know, at the core of it, there is some constructive criticism there, and I think that's more so what people should focus on more than anything. And that's kind of like my closing statements on all of this, is that, you know, as much as
fix your shit.
as much as this sucks, hashtag fix your shit, yes. But coming at it constructively, I think we've all been fairly constructive about things that couldn't be improved on.
Right.
We're obviously all mature adults, but just in the community at large, it seems to be like there's a lot of positive to be seen there. But just don't, you know, when you're giving Ubisoft feedback, don't be dicks about it. Yeah.
Just fix your shit, right?
Just fix your shit.
Yeah, that's all.
Wow. So,
do it with a smile, though, you know.
Right.
Shit-eating grin.
So yeah, so fingers crossed. Hopefully, we'll be back next month on a podcast. It's been an interesting podcast this month. Hopefully, next podcast will have better news. And you know, we'll see what happens after this next update. So we're gonna end the night. It's, like I said, it's been an interesting night. You know, talking about Far Cry 5, something that we're all passionate about. So I'm just gonna end it with an outro. Everybody knows who I am, Kemet1976. You can find me on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, which you're on right now. It's Kemet1976. I know I haven't posted any videos. There will be one coming this week, hopefully. So Lazy man, do you want to do your outro?
Yeah, I'm the Lazy Mapper. Thanks for joining us, and you can talk to Johnny Two Fingers here.
I mean, I pretty much said what I gotta say.
Yeah.
If you want to go to my YouTube channel, go ahead, check it out. Johnny Two Fingers with a Z. Yeah, I mean, that's really the only place that's worth going right now, as far as finding my content. So.
Yeah, and it was nice to get Captain Hindsight in here as well too.
Yeah,
for a change.
yeah.
Although his son has been beating him over the head with the lightsaber. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was actually,
and definitely, if you're tuning in, check out his map. D-Day Dog Green.
Oh yeah,
is
definitely,
absolutely phenomenal.
absolutely phenomenal. And he did an excellent video as well too. So yeah, check that video out. As a matter of fact, yeah, Cap, do you want to tell everybody where to find that video as well too?
yeah. So if you go on YouTube, it's Diefex. That's the name of the channel. It's DIEFEX. So yeah, that's where you can find it.
Yeah, so go check that video out, man. He's done a really great job, just on the map and the video as well too. Not only that, he updated the map as well too. So for anyone who played the older version, the newer version has some tanks in there.
Tank.
Yeah, some really creative
Yeah,
stuff in there, man. So
tank.
definitely, do you know what I mean? Death Weapon.
Yeah, man. I'm me.
Put him on the spot.
I guess I'd like to end with a shout out to MB1 Bumper, who has really nice map out just released.
Oh, yes.
It's called Cyberpunk.
Right.
Check it out. It's really cool. And also Mike G Live. Really get out there and see this content, guys, because like this is where it's at. Mike G has a ship out called Battleship, MRG, and you go in there and search his stuff. It's absolutely phenomenal on what you can do with the editor, and it really showcases it extremely well.
Yeah.
Yeah, these guys, those guys have definitely been like examples of what you can do.
Yeah. So
with the map editors.
if you guys want to see some great maps, go check out Lazy Mapper's channel. He's got some great content out on there. Do check that out because he does a lot on PC and he does a lot on Xbox as well too. So definitely go check that out.
Thank you.
Right. So that's it, man. That's that. We're out, guys. Thanks for joining.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah, definitely. See you later. Peace.